You know what's funny? The internet has somehow convinced millions of people that escaping the 9 to 5 is supposed to be easy. Every day we're hit with videos that sound like they were written by a freaking slot machine. Start this side hustle, copy this secret method, use this AI tool, follow this simple system. Apparently all you need to do is click 3 buttons, upload a picture of a llama wearing sunglasses, and by Tuesday you'll be making $20,000 a month while sipping coffee on a beach somewhere. It's freaking nonsense. And I say that as someone who desperately wanted it to be true. When you've spent decades working inside the traditional employment system, the idea of an easy escape hatch is incredibly appealing. Of course it is. Most people aren't looking for wealth, they're looking for freedom. Wealth just happens to be the vehicle they think might get them there. The problem is that freedom is being marketed like a lottery ticket. The reality is much less glamorous. If you want out of the 9 to 5 system, you're going to have to work for it. It's as simple as that. Nobody is coming to save you. No government program, no corporation, no motivational speaker. No mysterious millionaire mentor who sees your hidden potential and takes you under his wing. You are the rescue team. And that realization can either be depressing or incredibly liberating. For me, it was liberating. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to solve your problem, you can finally solve it yourself. Now, before anyone misunderstands me, I'm not saying you need to work 80-hour work weeks forever. I'm not saying you need to grind until your eyeballs fall out. What I'm saying is something much simpler. You need to accept that there is no easy button. There never was. Think about it. Anything worthwhile you've ever accomplished probably required some sort of effort. Learning a skill, building a career, buying a house, getting healthy. None of these things happen because you watched a 20-minute video and discovered a secret hack of some sort. Yet somehow when it comes to escaping traditional employment, people suddenly become convinced there must be a shortcut of some sort somewhere. There isn't. It's just wishful thinking. And in my experience, wishing for something very rarely makes it come true. There are better paths, there are smarter paths, there are more efficient paths, but I can guarantee you there's no magic paths. And this is where I think a lot of people get stuck. They confuse having a plan with having a strategy. Those sound like the same thing, but trust me, they are not. A plan is what you're going to do, and there is no limitations or roadblocks at that point. No friction, everything seems possible. But a strategy is how you're going to do it, step by step, identifying the roadblocks and then dealing with the friction. A plan says I'm going to start a YouTube channel. A strategy says I'm going to consistently create content that solves a specific problem for a specific audience over the next 3 years. A plan says I'm going to start an online business. But a strategy says I'm going to develop valuable skills, identify a market that wants those skills, and repeatedly deliver value until the income starts replacing my paycheck. A plan is often just a wish dressed up in business clothing. But a strategy is a process of actionable steps that get shit done. And yes, that was a shameless plug for my book. You can buy a copy by clicking the link below in the comment section. Here's the uncomfortable part. Even the best strategy in the world is completely useless without action. You can spend 6 months building spreadsheets, you can buy courses, you can fill notebooks with ideas. You can create vision boards so large they require municipal permits, but none of it matters if nothing gets done. Nothing changes when you think about changing. Things change when you do the things. I've known people who spent years planning their escape from the workforce. Years. They researched, they compared options, they evaluated opportunities, they optimized every possible variable. And then they never started. They had analysis paralysis. Meanwhile, Someone else with half the knowledge and twice the uncertainty launched something imperfect and learned their way through it. Guess which one got closer to freedom? Action beats perfection every single time. The internet gurus don't like talking about this because action is hard to sell. A shortcut is easy to sell. A secret, easy to sell. A hack, easy. A hack is very easy to sell. Human beings love hacks. We love the idea that someone has discovered a hidden lever that nobody else knows about. That's why every few years a new miracle opportunity appears. Drop shipping, crypto, print on demand, affiliate marketing, whatever the trend happens to be this week. Now, before anyone gets upset, there's nothing inherently wrong with any of these business models at all. People have made money with all of them. The problem is the marketing, because the business model is rarely the product. The dream is the product. And the dream being sold is always the same. Fast money, easy money, passive money. Money that somehow appears without years of effort, learning, failure, adaptation, or any kind of persistence whatsoever. It's a fantasy. Real wealth isn't built by finding some sort of loophole. It's built by becoming useful. People who consistently make money outside traditional employment usually have one thing in common. They create value. Maybe they entertain, maybe they educate, maybe they solve problems, or they design products, maybe they provide a service or build an audience as a YouTube. But in every case, they're doing something useful for someone else. And usefulness takes time to develop. That's the part nobody wants to hear. The good news is the time is going to pass either way. 5 years from now, you'll be 5 years older regardless of what you do. The question is whether you'll spend those 5 years building something or merely wishing you had started. Because escaping the 9 to 5 isn't a single event. It's a gradual process. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly become, free. You slowly replace dependence with autonomy. You learn a skill, you build an audience, you create a product, and you refine it. You improve it. You make mistakes, and then you adjust. Eventually, those small actions begin stacking on top of one another. Then one day you look around and realize your paycheck is no longer the center of your financial universe. That's when things get really interesting. That's when you begin to experience real autonomy. Not because someone handed it to you, but because you built it, brick by brick and step by step, at your own pace. And that's another thing the gurus rarely tell you. You don't have to race. This isn't a competition. You don't need to become a millionaire next Tuesday. You don't need the big house. You don't need a private jet. You don't need to pretend you're crushing it on social media while you're eating instant noodles at a folding table in a basement somewhere. You simply need enough freedom to control your own time. That's the real prize. The ability to decide what your day looks like. The ability to work on projects you care about. The ability to wake up without feeling like you're renting your life by the hour. That kind of freedom is achievable, but it's earned through strategy, action, and consistency. Not through hacks, not through secrets, not through some magic formulas. So, if you're serious about escaping the rat race, stop looking for the easy button. It doesn't exist. Instead, choose a direction, develop a strategy, take action. Expect setbacks, but learn continuously. Keep moving. You don't need certainty. You don't need perfection. You don't even need to know exactly where you'll end up. You just need to start building something that belongs to you. Because the people who eventually escape the system aren't necessarily smarter than everyone else. They're simply the ones who stopped waiting. And once you stop waiting and start building, something remarkable happens. The future stops looking like a sentence. It starts looking like a possibility. And that's where real freedom begins. As always, this has been Over 40 with Duff. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, follow, and share. Better yet, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. So until next time, keep asking yourself, if not now, when?